Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. The search for the origins of the Mayans, Aztecs and Incas represents a fascinating enigma that has challenged historians and archaeologists for centuries. These indigenous people are extremely intriguing. Have you ever heard of the Mayans, the Aztecs and the Incas? They are pre-American people with distinct cultures and ancient traditions that date back thousands of years. The Mayans, Aztecs and Incas form a truly captivating group of societies. Although most scientific and historical evidence points to pre-Columbian America as the cradle of these civilizations, in this video, I would like to present you with different perspectives on the origins of these peoples, exploring biblical narratives and genetic evidence. We will investigate the stories, legends and research that have fueled this discussion over time, seeking to establish connections between Mesoamerican cultures and ancient accounts found in the Bible. Watch another video in our series about the origin of people according to the Bible. The Mayan people represent an ethnic and linguistic group originating in Mesoamerica. The ancient Mayan civilization was primarily made up of members of this ethnic group, and descendants of the ancient Mayans still live in the region, which includes southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador and Honduras. The term Maya is a modern and collective designation for the people of this region, although historically it was not used by them themselves, as there was no unified political identity between the different populations, societies and indigenous ethnic groups, each with their own cultural traditions and historical identities. It is estimated that around 7 million Mayans inhabited Mesoamerica at the beginning of the 21st century, mainly in Guatemala, Belize, southern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, El Salvador and western Honduras. They have managed to preserve many traces of their rich Mayan cultural heritage. Some integrate into the mixed-race cultures of the nations in which they reside, while others maintain more traditional and culturally distinct lifestyles, often using one of the Mayan languages as their primary language. The largest populations of contemporary Mayans are found in Guatemala, Belize, and the western parts of Honduras and El Salvador. Additionally, there are large Mayan communities in the Mexican states of Yucatan, Campeche, Quintana Roo, Tabasco and Chiapas. The Aztecs, in turn, were a Mesoamerican culture that flourished in central Mexico during the post-classic period, which spanned from 1300 to 1521. The Aztec peoples were composed of diverse ethnic groups from central Mexico, particularly those who spoke the language Nahuatl. They dominated vast areas of Mesoamerica between the 14th and 15th centuries. Aztec culture was organized into independent city-states. The ancient city-states of the Aztecs were known as Altepetl in the Nahuatl language, which was the language of the Aztecs. The term Altepetl referred to a political and territorial entity that functioned as an autonomous unit of government in Aztec society. Each Altepetl was generally led by a Tlatoani, name given to the leaders, and had its own social, economic and political structure. Examples of Aztec city-states at the time include Tenochtitlan, which was the capital of the Aztec Empire, and Tlatelolco. Aztec, a city-state located in the heart of what is now Mexico City. It was one of the most notable and impressive cities in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica and played a key role in the history of the Aztecs. The city was founded in 1325 AD by the Aztecs, a people who settled in the region after migrating from northern Mexico. They chose the location because they spotted an eagle perched on a cactus, according to Aztec mythology, which was seen as a divine sign for the founding of the city. At the height of its power, Tenochtitlan had a population ranging between 200,000 and 300,000, making it one of the largest cities in the world at the time. Tlatelolco was founded around the 14th century, not long after Tenochtitlan. Originally, it was an independent city, but later formed an alliance with Tenochtitlan and Tlacopan to create the Aztec Triple Alliance. Tlatelolco was situated on an island in Lake Texcoco, near Tenochtitlan. The two cities were separated by a canal, but they were so close that, for many practical purposes, they were considered one. Tlatelolco had its own temples and religious sites, dedicated to Aztec deities. The city shared many cultural and religious aspects with Tenochtitlan, but it also had its own cultural identity. The Aztec Empire, which was established in 1427, was a confederation made up of three main city-states, Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan, also known as Tacuba, formerly belonging to the Empire of the Tepanicas, whose dominant power was in Azcapotzalco. Although the term Aztec or Aztecs is used narrowly to refer to the Mexicas of Tenochtitlan, it is also broadly applied to Nahuatl communities or peoples of central Mexico during the pre-Hispanic era as well as during the Spanish colonial period, from 1521 to 1821. The Aztec Empire reached its territorial peak in 1519, shortly before the arrival of a small group of Spanish conquerors led by Hernán Cortés. Cortés gained allies among the enemy city-states of the Mexicas, particularly the Tlaxcalteca, and other political organizations, including Texcoco, which used to be an ally of the Mexicas in the Triple Alliance. After the fall of Tenochtitlan on August 13, 1521 and the capture of Emperor Cuauhtémoc, the Spanish established Mexico City on the ruins of the ancient Aztec capital. From there, they continued the process of conquest and incorporation of the Mesoamerican peoples into the Spanish Empire. The destruction of the structure of the Aztec Empire in 1521 led to the Spanish ruling the indigenous populations through the local nobles of the city-states. These nobles swore loyalty to the Spanish crown and converted, at least nominally, to Christianity in exchange for recognition as nobles by the Spanish. Nobles acted as intermediaries to collect tribute and organize work for their new masters, thus facilitating the establishment of Spanish colonial rule. The Incas, whose empire is called Tawantinsuyu in Quechua, which literally means four parts, were the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. The city of Cusco served as the administrative, political and military center of this vast empire. The Inca civilization had its origins in the highlands of Peru during the early 13th century and was eventually conquered by the Spanish in 1572. Between 1438 and 1533, the Incas managed to incorporate a large part of western South America, focusing on the Andes Mountains, using methods that included conquest and peaceful assimilation. At its maximum extent, the empire covered territories that today correspond to Peru, western Ecuador, western and central southern Bolivia, northwestern Argentina, a significant part of what is today Chile and the southwestern tip of Colombia, forming a state comparable to the historical empires of Eurasia. The official language of the Inca Empire was Quechua, which was also the language of the Incas. Although many local forms of worship persisted in the empire, Inca leaders promoted the worship of Inti, the solar deity, and consolidated their control over other cults, such as the cult of Pachamama. The Incas considered their king, the Sapa Inca, as the son of the sun, highlighting the importance of Inti in their religion. The Inca Empire stood out for not having many of the typical characteristics of Old World civilizations. Even without the use of the wheel, draft animals, knowledge of iron or steel, or even a writing system, the Incas managed to build one of the greatest imperial states in human history, as highlighted by anthropologist Gordon McEwen. Some notable features of the Inca Empire include its monumental architecture, especially stone construction, an extensive network of roads that connected all parts of the empire, sophisticated textiles, the use of knotted ropes called quipus for recording and communication, advances in agriculture and challenges and effective imperial organization and management. The Inca Empire operated largely without currency or traditional markets. Instead, the exchange of goods and services was based on reciprocity between individuals, groups, and Inca rulers. Taxes were in the form of mandatory labor for the empire, and Inca rulers, who theoretically owned all the means of production, reciprocated by providing access to land, goods, and holding celebratory feasts with food and drink for their subjects. The ancient Mayan, Aztec and Inca people are fascinating and intriguing. Many consider these indigenous civilizations to be enigmatic. According to sacred texts, all people who came from Asia as well as indigenous peoples like them have a connection with the Asian people who migrated from Asia to the Americas. They are often seen as descendants of Togarmah, one of Noah's grandsons. Togarmah is considered the ancestor of the Mongolian and Asian slant-eyed populations. Genetic studies also suggest that indigenous people have Asian roots, indicating that they originated in Asia and later migrated to the Americas. Some argue that there was some admixture with African people in the earliest eras of humanity, which may explain variations in skin tone, although most still maintain straight hair and slanted eyes. It is interesting to note that Japheth's descendants, which include Asian and indigenous peoples, are the most numerous. However, they are descendants of Japheth's grandson Togarmah. Genetic studies indicate that all Native American people have their roots in Asia, which aligns with the idea that Togarmah played an important role in their ancestry. I hope you enjoyed learning about the origin and some historical characteristics of the Mayan, Aztec and Inca people, as well as their biblical and genetic connection that points to Asia as their birthplace, showing that indigenous people are not native to the Americas, but migrated from Asia. The Inca Aztecas and more were one of the people with many of you asking for information about their origins. We continue to look forward to your suggestions about other ethnic groups, as we are committed to reading and analyzing comments to produce more videos for our series. Which other people are you curious to know about their origins according to the sacred scriptures? If you're not yet familiar with our series, just check out the playlist that's now available on your end screen, where you'll find videos about other people we've covered. Thank you for following us here. See you soon.